Mary Morgan, c. 1788 to 15 April 1805, was a young servant in Presteigne, Radnorshire, Wales, who was convicted and hanged for killing her newborn child. While Morgan was from Glasbury, her story has been associated with Presteigne since her execution in 1805. She was employed as an undercook at Mysloch Castle, the seat of Walter Wilkins Esq, the Member of Parliament for the county of Radnorshire. Morgan was working in the kitchens in the early hours of a Sunday in September 1804 when she became unwell. She later went to her room in the servants' quarters of the castle. Early that evening the cook went to her room and accused Morgan of having given birth to a baby, which at first she strongly denied. Later, according to the evidence given by the cook, Morgan owned that she had delivered herself of a child which was in the underbed cut open, amongst the feathers with the head nearly divided from the body, and the severely damaged intestinal system removed and placed underneath the child. The inquest on the baby was held at Glasbury 2 days later, and the coroner's jury found that Mary Morgan, late of the parish of Glasbury, a single woman on the 23rd day of September being big with child, afterward alone and secretly from her body did bring forth alive a female child, which by the laws and customs of this kingdom was a bastard. Mary Morgan, moved and seduced by the instigation of the devil afterwards on the same day, feloniously, wilfully and of her malice aforethought did make an assault with a certain penknife made of iron and steel of the value of 6pence, and gave the child one mortal wound of the length of 3 inches and the depth of 1 inch. The child instantly died. Morgan was too ill to travel to Presteigne, where the assizes were held, until October 6. The trial eventually began in April 1805 before Mr. Justice Hardinge, concluding on April 11, when the jury found her guilty of murdering her child. On April 13 Morgan was hanged, and was buried in what was then unconsecrated ground near the church later that same afternoon. Her public execution attracted large crowds, who watched as she was taken by cart from the jail to the execution at Gallows Lane. She was subsequently commemorated by 2 gravestones in the churchyard at Presteigne. For some time after the execution, it was claimed the father of the murdered child was Walter Wilkins the Younger, the son of the Member of Parliament and High Sheriff for the county and the young squire of Mysloch Castle.